The first 10 minutes or so of any movie is normally referred to as the setup or opening. It represents an opportunity for the film to put its best foot forward and compel the audience to sit down and pay attention. At the most basic level, the setup will introduce main characters in conflict and lay out the setting and tone of the movie. Something that the opening to The Batman does in spectacular fashion. While the first half of the setup is spent establishing our main conflict by showing us Riddler's murder of the mayor, it is the second half that we will look at today. Specifically, the fight scene at the metro station. This scene managed to do three things. Introduce us to this new version of Batman, establish the rules we'll be working with regarding Batman and his suit, and lay the foundations for the character's story arc moving forward. If you've not already seen this movie, I highly recommend that you stop what you were doing and go watch it. This video will contain spoilers for the opening as well as the ending, so don't watch this yet if you care about such things. If not, then I do hope you enjoy the video and that you'll give us a like to help boost us in the algorithm. I'd also be honored if you'd subscribe to the channel for more movie, television, and video game content. But without further ado, I am your host Jacob. Let's take a look at the opening fight scene from The Batman. Before we even get to the scene, we do have to discuss the exposition sequence directly before it. There's a saying in writing about exposition scenes, and that is that you have to eat your vegetables before you get to the good stuff. That's because exposition writing is important to the story, but is often quite bland or even boring. But if I'm being honest, I love the narration sequence while watching criminals perform various illegal actions across Gotham. Its bleak tone and visuals really set the stage our story will be playing out on, as Pattinson's voice tells us some key information. Namely, he has only been doing this for 2 years, but that criminals do fear him. This narration also starts defining this movie as a noir and not just a detective story. Specifically, a male protagonist who feels like an outsider narrates their internal thoughts and whose embittered negative worldview afflicts those that try to get close to him. Gotham is also shown as a dark, gritty, urban setting that can even be nihilistic at times, which is also in keeping with both classic and neo-noir visuals and locations. During this sequence, special attention is given to a group of men with clown-like, or perhaps Joker-like, face paint. They decide to follow a man off of a train in order to trap him and let a new initiate beat him up. This is where we will start the scene.
You can't move, huh?
Now knock his ass out.
Showtime. Showtime, man. Come on, do it, man.
See this guy?
The hell are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
We see the lead clown ask Batman who he is supposed to be. It is hard for me not to view this on a meta level, given how much flack Robert Pattinson's casting initially received by fans. Pattinson at this time was best known for playing Edward Cullen in the loved by teenage girls and hated by everyone else series of Twilight films. When he was announced as the Caped Crusader, it was rather difficult for a large portion of the population, including myself, to see him as Batman, and not just as a sparkly vampire. In fact, watching Edward Cullen play Batman is the sole reason my wife agreed to see the film with me on opening weekend. Viewing this scene through that lens, I love that Pattinson doesn't respond to the clown at all. Rather, he quietly, calmly, and menacingly walks up to him and then proceeds to beat the absolute crap out of him. For me, this was a moment to put all the haters behind him. As he tells the clown, and us by extension, that he is vengeance, the images of Edward Cullen disappear from my mind. And when we hear a clown in the background say, "It's him," as Pattinson rises to his feet, there is no doubt, he is our Batman. Two wide shots show the developing situation as the clowns surround Batman. They get a couple of good shots in on him, but he is able to take them all out in pretty brutal fashion. Some of the takedowns, as well as the extra couple of shots he put on the lead clown, give us this feeling that he really enjoys beating on his foes. He doesn't control his anger with them, or at least not well, and this furthers that noir feeling from the exposition. Like I said, the clowns get a couple of hits in on him, and some of them stagger him for a moment. We see the suit resist a point-blank shot from a .38 and then taser a guy. This shows us what the suit and the man are capable of, or in other words, what the rules are regarding his gear. It also shows us that he is skilled, but not invulnerable. He does feel pain and could theoretically be defeated if the odds were stacked against him too much. This is important in keeping tension throughout the other fight scenes later on in the movie.
Please don't hurt me.
As the clowns flee, Batman looks to the civilian he has just saved, but rather than be grateful, the man is scared. He cowers in the corner and asks the Dark Knight not to hurt him. This is important in setting up Batman's story arc for this movie, his journey from violent vigilante to savior of Gotham. At the end of the movie, Batman will determine that fear is not enough. To bring about real change, he must also give people hope. Scenes like leading the survivors through the water, or the woman not feeling safe without him at the end of the movie, have no emotional payoff without this moment at the beginning. Batman calling himself Vengeance sets up the audience for an emotional gut punch when Riddler's followers at the end claim the same title. It's an incredibly important theme for this character, and this scene nails it. What I would normally do now is play the full scene for you without interrupting, but what I learned after my scene breakdown for 7 is that Warner Brothers does not care about fair use laws, and I am unwilling to pay a lawyer to challenge them, so I cannot do that today. However, I will have a link in the description for the channel I pulled the clip from if you want to watch it in full. I will also have links in the description for some of our other Batman videos, so please check those out if you enjoyed this one, and leave us a like if you appreciated our hard work. If you like it enough to join the team, then subscribe to the channel and give yourself an excuse to be critical of everything you watch. For Fairly Critical, I have been your host Jacob, and I will see you in the next one.
I'm vengeance.